The Western Xia, the Zai Xia Chinese pinyin Wade Giles. Officially the Great Xia, also known as the Tangut Empire and known as Mi Nyak to the Tanguts and Tibetans, was a Tangut-led Buddhist imperial dynasty of China that existed from 1038 to 1227. At its peak, the dynasty ruled over the modern-day northwestern Chinese provinces of Ningxia, Gansu, eastern Qinghai, northern Shaanxi, northeastern Xinjiang, and southwest Inner Mongolia and southernmost Outer Mongolia, measuring about 800,000 square kilometers, covering a distance of 310,000 square miles, the Mongolian first invasion of Western Xia.
In 1209, Genghis embarked on his campaign to conquer Western Xia. Li Yongquan asked the Jin dynasty for help, but the new emperor Jin Weian Yongjin refused to send help, saying, "It is for our benefit when our enemies attack each other." After defeating the force led by Gayo Lingua outside Wulan, Genghis captured the city and advanced along the Yellow River, defeating several towns until he reached Kimian Fortress, which was the only crossing through the Hylian Mountains to the guarded capital Yinchuan. With an army of up to 70,000 men and 50,000 reinforcements, the fortress proved too difficult to capture, and after a 2-month stalemate, the Mongols feinted a retreat and drew in the garrison, led by Wei Lingon on the ground where it was easily destroyed. His way was now clear. Genghis advanced towards the capital, well fortified. Yinchuan had about 150,000 troops, nearly twice the size of the Mongol army. In one of their first siege attempts, the Mongols lacked the equipment and experience to take the city. They arrived in the city in May but still could not break through on October. Genghis attacked to flood the capital by diverting the river and its network of irrigational canals into the city. And in January 1210, the walls of Yinchuan were nearly breached. However, the levee which diverted the river broke, and the ensuing flood wiped out the Mongol camp and forced the Mongols to take the high ground. Despite this setback, the Mongols still posed a threat to Western Xia, and with the statecraft destroyed and no retreat from the Jin, Li Yongquan agreed to submit to Mongol rule, showing his loyalty by offering a daughter, Chaka, to Genghis in marriage and pay homage of camels, falcon, and textiles. The Mongols' second invasion of Western Xia. After defeating Khwarezm in 1221, Genghis readied his army to punish Western Xia for their treachery. Meanwhile, Emperor Xingun abdicated in 1223, leaving his son Zhengzong in place. In 1225, Genghis Khan attacked with a force of around 180,000. After taking Karakota, the Mongols began a steady advance south. Asha, commander of the Western Xia forces, could not afford to meet the Mongols, as it would have meant a grueling march west from the capital Yinchuan, across the 500 kilometers of desert. Without an army to meet them in battle, the Mongols chose the best targets for attack, and as each city failed, the Mongols drew captives, deserters, and supplies and weapons to take the next. Enraged by fierce Western Xia resistance, Genghis engaged the countryside in a war of destruction, ordering his generals to systematically destroy cities and garrisons as they went. 2 months after taking Karakota, the Mongols reached the point where the Hylian Mountains forced the Isian River east, about 300 meters south of Karakota. At this point, Genghis divided his army and sent General Sabutai to take care of the westernmost cities, while the main force moved east into the heartland of the Western Xia Empire. Genghis besieged Suza, which fell after 5 weeks. Genghis then moved to Gansu, the hometown of his general Chagan. Chagan's father was still in command of the city garrison, so Chagan tried to negotiate with him. However, the city's second in command staged a coup, killed Chagan's father, and refused to surrender. It took 5 months to subdue the city, and although the now enraged Genghis threatened revenge, Chagan convinced him to kill only the 35 conspirators who killed Chagan's father. In August 1226, Genghis escaped the heat by staying in the Hylian Mountains as his troops approached Wiwi, the second largest city in the Western Xia Empire. With no help from the capital, Wiwi decided to surrender and avoid certain destruction. At this point, Emperor Xinzong died, leaving Muzu to face the collapsing of the state as the Mongols invaded the capital. In the fall, Genghis rejoined his troops, captured Lingua, crossed the Hylian Shan Desert, and in November besieged Lingguo, only 30 kilometers from Yinchuan. Here in the Battle of the Yellow River, Western Xia led a counterattack with an estimated force of over 300,000 soldiers attacking the Mongol forces along the banks of the frozen river and canal system. The Mongols destroyed the Western Xia troops and repeatedly counted 300,000 bodies of Western Xia soldiers after the battle. After reaching Yinchuan in 1227 and laying siege to the city, Genghis prepared to invade the Jin dynasty. To neutralize any threat, they would send auxiliaries to the Western Xia and to pave the way for the final conquest of the Jin Empire. Genghis sent a force led by his son Ogedia and his commander Chegan to the southern frontier, and they penetrated Jin areas along the Wai River and southern Jiangxi, even sending some troops across the Jin mountains to conquer Qifeng to threaten the Jin capital. Genghis himself rejoined Sabudai and moved southwest to cut off an area of about 150 kilometers wide, mainly in the present-day Ningxia and Gansu. Sabudai swept through the northern parts of the Limpuan Mountains, zigzagging from city to city in February and March, capturing the Tayo River Valley and Lingzhou region. Meanwhile, Genghis headed straight south along the Guanxun River. Back in the Western Xia, Yinchuan was besieged for about 6 months, and Genghis himself led a siege of Longd and Chagan to negotiate terms. Chagan reported that the emperor agreed to capitulate but took a month to prepare suitable gifts. Genghis agreed, although he had secretly planned to kill the emperor. During the peace negotiations, Genghis continued his military operations around the Lupen Mountains near Guyan, rejected a peace offer from the Jin, and prepared to invade them near the Song border. However, in August 1227, Genghis died of historical uncertain causes, and in order not to jeopardize the ongoing campaign, his death was kept secret. In September 1227, Emperor Muzu surrendered to the Mongols and was promptly executed. The Mongols then ruthlessly sacked Yinchuan, slaughtering the city population, looting the imperial tombs to the west of the city, and completing the effective annihilation of the Western Xia.